on us here for a little bit of dirt track.
And I tell you, that was longer than the highest of this racetrack. Might have been the hiatus of the first driver on the track for this hot lap session. His first time behind the wheel in nearly 11 years. West Virginia's Dustin Sprouse in the Napoli's Pizza, Rockies Towing, Norwood Antique Mall sponsored. Number 43 currently sits second in the Rookie of the Year standings for the Steel Block Late Model Series. Also on the Speedway over in turns 1 and 2 in the C2. Fifth in the series point standings, that is Corey Delancey out of Parkersburg, West Virginia in the Gutter Direct Kryptonite Race Cars, number C2. Other drivers on the track for this hot lap session, Jimmy Morey out of Belleville, Ohio in the Pizza Doc Bob and Julie Cockrell Laser Chassis, number 24. Ted Johnson, oh my, yes. Ted Johnson back in the Boss chassis. That's right, Todd Gorel. That's him in that white and black number 25 rolling down the front straightaway. Behind of him in the 75, that's Ronnie Souders out of Green, Ohio, just north of Canton in the ESC Tactical Kryptonite Race Cars, number 75. And one other driver on the track for hot laps, and I believe that's the 63 of Point Pleasant, West Virginia native Gary Wilcoxon. Gary Wilcoxon in the 63. Chet, those are the first drivers on the track for hot laps for the Steel Block Late Model Series presented by Impact Race Gear.
Yeah, you talk about Ted Johnson Jr., number 25, making his way out turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Good to have him out here. His father's still racing at 67 years of age, so that's awesome to hear as well. Not out here with us tonight on the Big 5/8, but that was something, a conversation that came up earlier on, talking to a number of different drivers. 43, you talked about Dustin Sprouse out here, hasn't raced since 2010. He came back because West Virginia Motor Speedway came back. He said he loved coming out here to race. Whenever he saw they were opening it back up again, he got his race car back together, and lo and behold, here he is.
And Dustin Sprouse, one of the few guys that has actually turned laps at this racetrack, but he turned laps in a pure stock back when he ran here some 11 years ago, so it's good to see him back out. He is planning on running most of the Steel Block Late Model Series schedule here throughout the year. Again, he's currently sits second in their Rookie of the Year point standings as we get these drivers off of the racetrack, and we will welcome a new group of drivers for the Steel Block Late Model Series out for their hot lap sessions. Is driver of the C2, that's Corey Delancey, and one final driver on the track for qualifying will be the 43 out of Parkersburg, that is Dustin Sprouse. So Derek Quaid in the 74, the first driver on the track, the Cecil Creek Logging, Bowles Mobile, Glass Gunners, Hunting Champion Used Auto Parts, Longhorn number 74, followed out by the driver of the number C2, that is Corey Delancey, fifth in the series point standings in the Gutter Direct Lavos Diesel Repair Kryptonite number C2, and another Kryptonite race car in the 43, that is Dustin Sprouse, and the Napoli's Pizza, Rockies Towing, Norwood Antique Mall, sponsored number 43. First qualifying laps are on the board. Corey Delancey with a 2:1.542, 2:1.542 for Corey Delancey. Dustin Sprouse making his return to racing, 2:1.251. That is new quick time, 2:1.251. And Derek Quaid not picking up on the electronic scoring system that time by what, to see if we can get him back out for another lap. Corey Delancey's second lap time not as good, 2:3.470, and the second lap time for Dustin Sprouse a little better, 2:0.894. So Derek Quaid will have to make his way back out at some point for a qualifying lap, as the 74 did not trip the trigger, so an issue with his transponder. Oh, he did. So we get the 74 of Derek Quaid, who made the long trip over from Mechanicsville, Maryland, back out on the Speedway. The driver of the Cecil Creek Logging, Bowles Mobile, Glass Gunners, Hunting Champion Used Auto Parts, Longhorn number 74, back out for one qualifying lap as he tripped the trigger but did not display a trio right now with a 2:0.894. Dustin Sprouse in that Kryptonite number 43. Corey Delancey second quick with a 2:1.542.
Parkersburg, West Virginia. It is going to be the 43 of Dustin Sprouse. Sprouse will be flanked by the number 74 car out of Mechanicsville, Maryland. That's Derek Quaid.
And we move back to row number 2, and on the inside there we find the local driver out of Parkersburg in the Kryptonite number C2. That'll be Corey Delancey, and on the outside of him, the older brother of Thomas Baker in the 2008 Masters built race car out of Navarre, Ohio. It's the veteran Alan. Cars that mirrored that of famous Cambridge, Ohio late model driver Ty Long back in the day. Always campaigned in orange and white and blue, number 55. TJ's drifted away from those paint schemes a little bit now, and keep your eyes on him. He's a strong runner. He's looking to work his way up from the tail of the field. As the yellow lights have been turned out, green flag is going to wave this time by. Once again, 8 cars, 8 laps in Poske's Performance Parts Heat Race number 2 for the Steel Block Late Model Series presented by Impact Race Gear.
He took a decade off. The number 43 car down the inside is going to kick his baby loose. Has not raced since 2010. Sprouse throttles it up, spins the tires, and we are underway. There's a whole lot of tire spin, not a lot of forward momentum there for the number 43 car down the inside. Will get passed by the wayside. 74 blazes on through. We almost had a 3 wide.
Just about had a 3 wide, and the beneficiary of that was the 74 of Derek Quaid. There's a good look between the 19 of Alan Baker and the C2 of Corey Delancey. That's a battle for the 3rd spot at the end of lap number 1. Derek Quaid already stretched out to a big advantage with Dustin Sprouse in 2nd, and that guy Alan Baker in the 3rd spot.
Yeah, Baker's there, but C2 Corey Delancey's rolling for all he's worth down into the corner. He's got a bad push. He'll go in dump truck mode down into turn number 1 as he had the wheels cranked. That thing did not want to turn. It's one of those deals where either you can brake or you can turn, and that thing didn't want to do either. As you know, he gives up a couple car lengths and singles back into the number 4 spot.
And this is not the track you want to have that happen, Chet. These guys are carrying a ton of speed and a ton of momentum into the corners. Meanwhile, back out of the front of the field, there's a good look there. That gap was bigger between your race leader on the left-hand side of your screen, Derek Quaid, and the driver on the right-hand side of your screen, Dustin Sprouse. Sprouse has slowly started to close that gap back in, this time by 3 laps down, 5 laps to go.
You know, for taking 10 years off, he looks very, very comfortable behind the wheel of that race car. He is quick down in turn 1 and 2, getting good rotation through the corner, and he is without a doubt closing on your race leader up front. Closing quick enough, that remains to be seen.
Catching him is one thing, passing him is another, and here's the other thing. The last time Dustin Sprouse raced, now he pushes up the racetrack. Coming off the corner, the old commentator's curse. Dustin Sprouse, he did not run a late model, a steel block late model, a semi-late, or a limited late. He ran a pure stock. He ran a pure stock here at West Virginia Motor Speedway over 10 years ago, and he's running strong right now, although we'll try not to curse him here this time as he tries to close the gap back in on your race leader, the 74, that guy, Derek Quaid.
He's rambling around as quickly as he can. Meanwhile, Baker still has the number 3 spot, but I'm telling you, the C2 is getting him sized up. Corey Delancey is coming. He's got a couple laps left. He took a look at the scoreboard last time through, and now is closed within a car length down in turn number 1 and 2, trying to force that car up on Baker, but so far to no avail.
Corey Delancey, again, another strong local driver, lives just up the road in Parkersburg. He's looking to the outside of Alan Baker, just not enough up there. The front end of that race car pushes way up the racetrack, and he loses wholesale ground with 2 laps remaining in Poske's Performance Parts Heat Race number 2.
We knew we'd see that coming out here, too. These guys have been on a racetrack many years ago. It's a totally different surface now. It's set dormant for a while, had grass growing on it. They came out, they redid it, so it's changed from what they know. I'm sure the banking's a little bit different, so their old setups that they had, the cars have changed tremendously in that last 10 years. So there's a lot of things to figure out, and I think you're seeing Delancey kind of testing that right now, as now the car's kind of moving again, and he again closes towards Baker for that number 3 spot. Not going to happen for him. Those white flags already been displayed. Checkered flag is out up front.
Derek Quaid going to get the win in the 74. Dustin Sprouse will cross the line in the 2nd position. Coming home in the 3rd spot will be the 19B of Alan Baker. Corey Delancey finishes 4th, and rounding out the top 5 will be the 24 of Jimmy Morey.
Dustin Sprouse shut her down in turn number 1 and 2. You see a waft and a little bit of a ghost out the back of it. Hopefully that is nothing detrimental, as she's definitely cooling down. For Napoli's Pizza, Rocky's Towing, Norwood Antique Mall, all sponsors the number 43. He missed his turn as well.
That car's just so fast, Chet, is what it is.
Well, right now I think it's stopped.
It is stopped right now. Hey, 3rd spot goes to Alan Baker on the 19B. 2nd will go to that driver, the 43 of Dustin Sprouse, and picking up the win in Poske's Performance Parts Heat Race number 2. And just had my buddy Jim Long Jr. send me a Texas drivers competing for the points championship with the Steel Block Bandits Dirt Late Model Challenge in 2021. He picks up a win here in heat number 2 for the Steel Block Late Model Series. He hails out of Mechanicsville, Maryland. How about a round of applause for the driver of the Cecil Creek Logging, Bowles Mobile Glass, Gunners Hunting Champion, Used Auto Parts sponsor.